The very first thing I'm going to say in this video is welcome to all you golf fans out there, as well as everybody else who have expressed wide-ranging outrage over the arrest of Scottie Scheffler and are suddenly now examining how police departments operate and how some of them, by golly, abuse their power. To those fans just now realizing that cops can go too far, and to the people who ask incredulously, how can a cop be disciplined numerous times and still be a cop, to those digesting how some cops are on power trips, well, to all of you, I say, welcome to the party, pal! And also, welcome to the Junkyard News. Now to the subscribers and viewers of my channel that really don't know who Scheffler is, Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer right now, has just been freed of all charges stemming from a confrontation outside the Valhalla Golf Club back on May 17th.
People are now asking questions about the detective's police report, where he says that Scheffler refused to comply with his directions and dragged him with his car so badly that parts of his uniform were damaged beyond repair. None of that is seen in either of the two videos police are releasing that show them walking him in handcuffs here without incident. Police today announced that they're disciplining Detective Gillis for not having turned on his body camera, which would have shown a lot more.
Our officer has received corrective action for this policy violation.
Louisville officials have dropped all charges against Scottie Scheffler stemming from the traffic incident outside Valhalla Golf Club back in May. Now this is a complete flip-flop from a press conference that the Louisville PD put out saying that charges wouldn't be dropped against Scheffler, but officials, after reviewing the evidence and realizing that the arresting officer never turned on his body cam in this incident, the officials realized that the officer's statement of events may not have been entirely accurate.
Oh, there's a big surprise! That's an incredible... I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise!
Thus, they dropped the charges with prejudice, meaning they can never refile them, and now the #1 golfer can focus on his profession and not worry about having these charges over his head. Now, Scheffler was originally charged with second-degree assault of a police officer, third-degree criminal mischief, reckless driving, and disregarding signals from a police officer that was directing traffic when he was arrested outside Louisville Valhalla's golf club, which was hosting a tournament that Scheffler was a part of. But Jefferson County Attorney Mike O'Connell announced during a Wednesday afternoon hearing that all charges against Scheffler would be dropped. O'Connell indicated that the county agreed that Scheffler's version of events did not rise to the level of criminal conduct and that the charges were dismissed with prejudice, again meaning they cannot be refiled.
Today in a story that the nation's been watching right here in Louisville, all the charges against PGA golfer Scottie Scheffler have been dropped after his May 17th arrest outside Valhalla.
The motion to dismiss charges against Scottie Scheffler, when it was submitted to the court, came down to a single sentence on a single piece of paper signed by County Attorney Mike O'Connell. Now, McConnell in the courtroom told the judge that when you look at the evidence that the charges just don't hold up. He also said, however, that what does hold up is Scheffler's claim that he was confused and did not know the LMPD detective who accosted him was a police officer.
Scheffler's attorney went on the offensive against LMPD moments after the charges were dismissed, claiming the officer wasn't dragged, and the only reason Scheffler isn't suing is because the taxpayers would end up paying the bill.
And that's why you don't talk to the police.
A fiery Steve Romines, the local high-profile attorney known for his reactions in court. This was moments after the charges against his client, golf legend Scottie Scheffler, were dismissed.
Obviously didn't do anything wrong. And as I've said repeatedly, the more evidence that comes out, the more it shows that Scottie was a victim here.
In video taken after Scheffler's arrest, yet to be released by police, the golfer states he didn't know it was an officer who was trying to stop him and said he was afraid and late for his tee time, so he decided to move forward, but admitted he should have stopped.
Everybody sees something like this happen and realizes they're one wrong turn or running into the wrong person away from going to jail themselves. Here's what happened, is he is being interrogated after the most stressful situation of his life, right? And the officer is actually asking him leading questions and trying to get him to agree with them.
The officials were quoted to say Mr. Scheffler's characterization that this was, quote, a big misunderstanding, is corroborated by the evidence. The evidence that they reviewed supported the conclusion that Detective Gillis was concerned for public safety at the scene when he initiated contact with Mr. Scheffler. However, Mr. Scheffler's actions and the evidence surrounding their exchange during this misunderstanding did not satisfy the elements of any criminal offenses. Scheffler, the world's #1 golf player right now, was on his way to Valhalla for an early morning tee time in the second round of the PGA Championship when he was stopped by police just outside the club's gates. Traffic had been halted around the club because of a fatal traffic accident involving a pedestrian roughly an hour before, and the pre-dawn scene was a chaotic blur of rain and flashing lights. Players were permitted to enter the club, and Scheffler attempted to do so, even after being stopped by an officer. Now, video of the scene does not accurately capture what happened during the incident because of Officer or Detective Bryan Gillis did not have his body camera turned on.
Our officer has received corrective action for this policy violation.
Imagine that. Gillis claimed that Scheffler dragged him along the pavement, causing injury to the officer, and damaged his pants. Scheffler claimed that he stopped when told to and accepted his arrest without significant protest. Now, if there is one benefit of the golfer's arrest, it's that it gets people who otherwise don't even think about police overreach or believe in it to begin with, to think about it. And the video footage released by police last week only added to the suspicions that something about the arrest of Scheffler wasn't quite right. Maybe there's other video of Scheffler doing what the officer alleged he did. One thing to note is the reaction of the people, presumably other cops in the video. They do not seem alarmed in the bit. They especially do not seem like they just witnessed someone being dragged alongside a car. Could the officer have lied in his report? And it begs the question of why, if an officer is wearing body camera, would he intentionally not turn it on when he's about to interact with a member of the public, especially when there is a policy requiring him to do so. And there could be several reasons why a police officer might intentionally not turn on their body camera, ranging from personal motivations to more systemic issues. Like to avoid accountability. An officer might not want to record an interaction if they plan to engage in behavior that is against department policy, unethical, or even illegal. By not recording, they can avoid creating evidence that could be used against them in an investigation or inside a courtroom. But what I think might be the main and strongest reason that most departments hate releasing body cam or dash cam video about incidents is the potential for liability. Departments may be cautious about releasing footage that could expose them to legal liability or public criticism. They may even delay or limit the release of footage that shows potential misconduct or controversial actions by their officers. It's all about hiding from accountability and hiding from lawsuits. Why would they want to just freely give out video footage that shows them in a bad light and could potentially cost cities and taxpayers a huge amount of money? Comment what you think. Thanks again for watching this episode of the Junkyard News. Be careful, people, because the next story or incident we talk about on this channel, we could be talking about you in the next video. Thanks for watching and take care. Videos uploaded by the Junkyard News are helped in part by viewers just like you. You can show your support for this channel by clicking the thumbs up, sharing our videos. Don't want to miss a video or a story? Make sure to check us out and like us on Facebook at The Junkyard News.